Welcome to another week of the Atlanta Falcons Think Tank. Hey, my name is Toby D. Y'all already know. We think about it, we gonna talk about it. But before we jump heavily into it, I just want to say, hey, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so and make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you can be ready to receive any latest videos that JR and myself put out. And also Damsky. And check Damsky out at the live show that is coming up this Tuesday night. So we're definitely excited to get that going. You guys have been live and popping in our live streams as of late. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially in the month of April. You know what that means. April 28th through the 30th, it's going down. It's time for the NFL draft and for us to be able to see who the new family members will be of the Atlanta Falcons and putting on that Atlanta Falcons jersey when it's all said and done. Speaking of putting on that jersey, hey, it's starting to get real now. The NFL has announced the official dates for all teams to begin off-season workouts, and it starts for the Atlanta Falcons on April 19th. And you know we got the rookie mini camp coming up for the new family that's going to be joining the team. Also, mini camp for the vets and the rookies, as well as mandatory. Guys, it's getting ready to go down. I mean, I can't believe we're already in April after just ending the season. And I think it's probably got to do something with now it being a 17-game season, kind of stretching things a little longer into the new year as opposed to what it was before that. So I'm definitely excited for the season. But let's get right into it. I want to talk about some things that I know have been on the Atlanta Falcons' mind since we made this signing of bringing, yes, you know who, Marcus Mariota, who has decided he is going to wear the number 1 since Kyle Pitts, our beloved Pro Bowler, his first year as a rookie, who's wearing that number 8 currently that Marcus Mariota will occupy wherever he went with his team. Let's be real, guys. You look at the statistics of Marcus Mariota, the first thing you already noticed, me and JR touched on it, and he was kind of looking at some things about the injury history. You heard Arthur Blank, who has been ramping things up and getting out into the press now after everything. He probably feels it's cooled down a little bit more about the Deshaun Watson inquiry that they were, you know, looking into, so to speak, and just exploring, as they like to use the word. You heard Terry Fontenot mention that word many times, and Arthur Blank backing it up, saying they were just exploring, and if anything took off more, they would do more investigation and stuff like that. You know, it is what it is on that end. But you even heard Arthur Blank mention about Marcus Mariota's injury history. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, JR, when he was sitting back kind of laughing and texting, he was talking about people jumping on his head about some of the mocks he's been putting out. And a lot of those mocks lately he's been putting out have been offensively driven. And I would not be surprised if it lines up to where the Falcons do that and go more offensively, depending on the BPA and the best players that they see to take off the board at the time. Hey, not that we don't want defense, but we don't know how it's going to shake out. And I'm sure it's going to ruffle some of you fans' feathers if it does shake out some of those ways that JR has been putting out on his mock drafts. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I got mocks that I have not released yet. I just been playing around, but I have been taking Matt Corral at number 8. There was a time where I took a trade down with the Eagles, picked Matt Corral at 15, but ever since Matt Ryan got traded to Indianapolis, I have been thinking about a quarterback at number 8, and Matt Corral has been my guy. Not because he wears the number 2, what he did at Ole Miss, and I'm sure that would tick people off if he did come here as an Atlanta Falcon and wear the number 2, but because I think he would be the best fit to step in for whatever situations and however they're planning on using Marcus Mariota. Now, I tweeted this out. I do believe that they are going to use Marcus as a guy that can model for the guy stepping in, so that when it's that time to make that transition from one quarterback to the next, then he will be able to step right into the picture. And you guys know Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot have been talking about this Kansas City model, especially Arthur Smith pushing it, how the ideal situation would be to really build his team, and that quarterback would be able to take over after sitting a year, just like Patrick Mahomes did behind Alex Smith, and be able to come in, not miss a beat, add a few little wrinkles in there that caters more to him, but they would be able to have him slide in and not miss beating the offense. And this could be a similar situation. Now, all of this talk, the Falcons may not even take a quarterback, but I would advise that they do. Because I don't know who you're going to get out there in free agency to back up Marcus Mariota, who has had a very interesting injury history. He's definitely not Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan only missed 3 games in his 14-year career. And that is something we are truly going to miss if Marcus cannot make a full season, which he has not been able to make a full season yet. I put these stats up so that you can look at them. The most games he has played, 15 games, but somehow he always ends up missing one. And there's been time where he's missed more games. Now, 2019 was a little different because he got benched for Ryan Tannehill. We all know this. And Arthur Smith was asked this during a presser with him and Terry Fontenot after the Matt Ryan trade at how they felt things was going to be different. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't know how things are going to be different. Now, I can see the schemes, and I'm so excited when JR gets to talk about this after the draft, when he's going to wait to release his video about what it is he sees the Falcons doing and how that could work to help Marcus Mariota as opposed to what it was when he got benched in Tennessee. I can't wait to see him drop that video because I think it's going to be very informative, something y'all probably haven't thought about. But what are they going to do? Are the Atlanta Falcons going to draft a quarterback this year to be able to sit and possibly have to start if Marcus Mariota can't stay healthy for a whole season, which we have 17 games now as opposed to 16. This is a guy that spent a backup for 2 years over there in Las Vegas behind Derek Carr. So I don't know if he's going to be able to make it a whole season as an Atlanta Falcon. I do believe they're going to do some things to help take advantage of the things he can do, more design runs than we've seen, because Matt Ryan is not that guy that can do those design runs like that. And of course, I do believe there will be an uptick in the RPO game. And this is another reason why I'm so on Matt Corral, because Matt Corral to me is an RPO king when it comes to running RPOs. He did that a lot at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. And I believe he's a guy that could step in, has one of the quickest releases that I've seen in a long time. And for whatever reason, when I hear this guy speak, he reminds me, I know y'all not going to like to hear this, of Drew Brees when he talks. He definitely has the leadership capabilities. Now, Sam Howell is another guy that I'm looking at. That if the Falcons can't get Matt Corral and they decide they may pass on a quarterback, period. But I do believe that those 2 quarterbacks will be someone that I think could come in here and transition into the offense. Now, I do have concerns, because not for 1 second am I going to sit here and think that Marcus Mariota is now coming in as the savior of the Atlanta Falcons offensive line. We heard Arthur Smith talk about the fact that, you know, whoever takes over at quarterback, you want to make sure that you build a supporting cast around them to give them the tools they need to have the opportunities to have success. I don't know if that's allowing Marcus Mariota to have success, ladies and gentlemen. Only a couple of seasons, I think, where he didn't get sacked 30 times, but there has been a season where he got sacked 40 times. As a matter of fact, the year he got benched, he got sacked 25 times in just playing 7 games, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you're going to be playing behind this offensive line who you believe, and you said during the owners' meetings this week, that the team has to improve. The offensive line has to improve. So let's see if Dwayne Ledbetter, the offensive line coach, is going to be able to help Matt Hennessy and the rest of these guys improve on that line. Now, we still don't even know if they're keeping Jalen Mayfield at the left tackle spot for giggles. I have no idea. But I want to see who is going to actually be able to win some spots up there to help Marcus Mariota have a better opportunity to succeed, because I'm not thinking his legs is going to be able to get him out of everything. There's no guarantee that he's not going to be able to save himself from getting sacked 40 times. Now, he may have success running the ball very well, and I do believe that he will if he can stay healthy a whole season, because those are one of the benefits. Everybody's been clamoring having a QB with mobility, where you definitely have one in Marcus Mariota. And you have somebody, like I said, that's going to be able to run the RPO game, which is popular in the NFL today, that has trickled down from the college game. We shall see. But also the wide receivers. Now, you guys know it's been rumored that Damiere Byrd has signed a one-year deal, or is in the mix of signing a one-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons after coming on an initial visit. He went to visit the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm taking it that didn't go as well as he probably liked. And he has a chance right now. Let's be honest, guys, that's your number one guy in the offense that you have right now, that has had the most experience, had the most yards, had an even better season when he was with the New England Patriots, the time that Cam Newton was there. And he has an opportunity to really come in here and to get some things going. A very speedy receiver. And I'm sure a lot of you have looked up maybe what his 40 time was, a 4.28 40 time at his pro day. I already looked it up to see. And then, you know, they brought in Kadaro Hodge, who hasn't had a lot of yards in any year. His most yards have been accumulated throughout the years he's been in the NFL, over 430 yards. But if you look at a lot of these guys that they have, all it take, big dude, 6'5", you know, 200 plus pounds. I mean, that would be a nice addition to add to a Kyle Pitts who's already 6'6", coming in here, a big body target for somebody like Marcus Mariota to be able to have, to be able to get the football to. We'll see how that goes. But these guys that are coming in here, some of these guys have not had a lot of yards. Now, four of these guys on this wide receiver core has had experience in the NFL. Alameda Zaccheaus, you know, I already mentioned Damiere Byrd and Auden Tate. Kadaro Hodge, also with NFL experience. But there are some guys that we're still waiting on to see what they're going to do. Guys like Frank Darby, who we took in the 6th round. He has not yet materialized. Now, they say usually the 3rd year is when a wide receiver that light is supposed to come on and they're able to grasp things and get things to cooking. But we don't know if Frank Darby is going to get things cooking yet. You got guys like Austin Trammell, who I'm actually excited about. This is one of the guys that was given a future contract by the Atlanta Falcons. Came here in the offseason doing camp and was exploding throughout practices. You kept hearing his name, but he got hurt and it made him have to take a step back. So now he gets another opportunity to come in here and once again get the attention of the Atlanta Falcons coaching staff and show them what he can do. You got another guy that also ended up getting a future contract, Chad Henson, who does have NFL experience as well. Now, the game that I went and looked at was the game with the Texans. I think he had 101 yards in that game. But one of the things that helped him was what I think would be an advantage also for Marcus Mariota is that at that time, Deshaun Watson, playing for that team, was able to extend plays, and Chad Henson was right there when Deshaun Watson needed someone to bail him out and throw the football to. And this would be something that I think would help the Atlanta Falcons weapons that they have right now, if you want to call them that, wide receivers, to be able to get open, and Marcus Mariota having the ability to extend plays. Now, the Falcons are going into the draft, and we already heard they're going to be very aggressive at looking at receivers in this draft. I don't know if that means they're going to double dip, take two. I'm thinking they will, because that's how I've been drafting on my mock drafts lately. Or they meaning they're going to package something together and take someone in the later rounds like that they really want and don't believe they're going to be there 43 and 58. Or they could very well get aggressive and take one at number 8 and decide to pass on a quarterback and don't take one. Now, Garrett Wilson's name has been thrown around, but previously before that, you saw Drake London's name being thrown around, whom we haven't seen yet run or anything. So we'll see. I think his pro day is coming up soon this week. Speaking of that, this is the last week coming up of pro days. LSU is going to be a huge pro day, and they will be the only ones with camera on them for a specific somebody. And his name is Derek Stingley Jr. So we definitely should see how that goes, because nobody has seen him participate in any drills yet. He didn't do anything at the combine or run, and I'm sure everybody's curious to see what his 40 time is going to end up being at his pro day, because like I said, they will be the only team on April 6th with all eyes on them. But I want to see what the Falcons are going to do to be able to help Marcus Mariota have success. A lot of talks of bridge gap player, stop gap player, however you want to look, has been swirling around throughout the media and the fan base. So let's see if they take a quarterback in order to have someone to sit for a year behind Marcus and then probably start him before Marcus gets that contract, the more money that he's supposed to get in the second year. A lot of people do not think he's going to make it to the second year to get that $12 million or so dollars. But who knows? The Falcons could get out of him. Arthur Smith may believe that he can get that best year out of Marcus. Marcus has only had one good year, ladies and gentlemen. That's crazy to say, but his best year was 2016. And that's crazy. I think he had like 26 touchdowns that year and 9 interceptions. He ran the ball pretty well on the ground to help that running game that they had over there in Tennessee, but he has not been that successful in the NFL to be a second overall pick behind Jameis Winston, who is down the street over there in New Orleans. So this is going to be interesting to see how it unfolds if Mariota first can have a healthy season and can really help the Atlanta Falcons offensive line by being able to extend plays and run the ball when he needs to run to get out of the pressure. Hey, other than that, man, hey, let us know what y'all thinking. How y'all really feel about Marcus Mariota, or you don't really feel anything about him and you're just waiting on this rebuild to finish so that you can truly enjoy the team once they truly get some talent that you really like. Or you may be taking a year off and come back in 2023, which is the year they seem to keep promoting, that's when they're going to really blow things out and really get the team back on point into their winning ways. Let us know what you think. Continue to share, like, comment on the videos, and please subscribe, like I said, if you have not done it. Again, this is Atlanta Falcons Think Tank. My name is Toby D. Peace. I'm out.